reading 2 books. Well, I'll finish one, rereading another book. Practicing the Way. I forget the author. I think it's John something. Really, really great book talking about modeling our discipleship after Jesus, modeling that on how rabbis in Jesus' age used to have their apprentices, what it looks like to truly be with him, be like him, and do what he does. I think a big takeaway for me on that was how we're being spiritually formed. Every single person watching this video right now is being spiritually formed. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't necessarily matter. You are being spiritually formed. Hitler was spiritually formed in the wrong direction. Mother Teresa was spiritually formed. I'm spiritually formed. You're spiritually formed. It's a matter of how we're being formed and in which direction we're being formed. And that has really impacted me as I think about the amount of time that I spend on business on any given week, month, year, decade, or my lifetime. I'm going to spend a ton of time in this realm. And I should be cognizant of how my business life is impacting my spiritual formation and ensure that it's forming me in the direction that I want to go, that the Lord wants me to go towards, and be the man of God that I'm called to become. There's a verse, I believe in Colossians, that says bad company corrupts good character, and there's no one who can get above that. You can't willpower your way to good character amongst bad company. You will become like the people you surround yourself with. That cliche saying is rooted in biblical truth, and it's important to realize that if you want to become more like Christ, you need to surround yourself in a community of Christians. In business, in life, your church, Christian life is meant to be done in community. You're spiritually formed in the communities that you're in. That doesn't mean you don't interact with anybody that's not a Christian. Of course you do. You should. We're called to do that. We're called to become, as Jesus put it to his disciples as he was calling them out of their vocation into the vocation of discipleship at that time. He asked them to become fishers of men. Drop your nets as fishermen and come with me, speaking as Jesus, and become fishers of men. So yeah, we're supposed to be in community with non-Christians, but we're also supposed to be balanced and be cognizant of the fact that bad company corrupts good character. So tying that into the second book that I'm rereading, almost done, the second pass through this book, it's a biography on H.J. Heinz of the Heinz Company, like the ketchup. Went from brick making business, that business basically failed. Then you've got food products. So I think he started with horseradish and yeah, was building a great business, but he was incredibly principled and really exemplified what it looked like to take care of people, to be Christ-like in his endeavors as a businessman. Obviously, this biography is going to highlight a lot of the good that he did and the positive elements to his career as a business owner. I don't have the full picture of him as an individual to endorse everything about him. Sure, he was a sinner just like the rest of us. However, man, the ways in which he built his business are exemplary, are to be modeled after. And his principles were incredible. They were great. They were long-lasting. He was not interested in the shortcut, the financial return for financial return's sake, the quick wins. He was interested in the monotonous, slow, sustainable build that prioritized the right things. And there's an attractiveness to every individual, whether you like it or not, to that concept. I believe that to be true. If you're honest with yourself, how can you not want to leave a good legacy? How can you not want to make a positive impact? I know Satan is at work in this world. We've already won through the blood of Jesus Christ as a Christian, over and conquered sin and death through Christ, including the malicious, whether it's intentional or not, nature of business that you see as so prevalent in our day and age. There's evil in the world, and I'm sure there's people that don't take joy in building good heritage and good legacy and serving other people. I'm sure there's people, I've met people like that, but there is an innate desire in all of us to be good. I believe it. Spent some time in prison, and not personally, but like serving people in prison. Praise the Lord, I've been spared of that experience as a prisoner, but working with people and serving people in that context, serving in halfway houses, various drug rehab facilities, friends with those people, learning about their life. They're conflicted. They may not allow that conflicted part of their life to show, but they are. And I see that now with working for private equity. There's a conflict, there's this push and pull of, we're here to make money, we're here to get financial return. It's like 3 times MOIC, multiple on invested capital, and 25% internal rate of return. It's just like, they're just make money. That's the goal. That's the whole priority. That's the whole thing that they're focused on. But there's this push and pull of like, you want to build something great. You want to build something that you can be proud of. Financial returns are a lagging metric. They're a lagging metric, meaning they give you a scoreboard for what's happened already. How many 3-pointers and layups did you hit to hit the scoreboard? The scoreboard's not showing you what's happening in the future. And also, financial metrics don't give you the full picture. They don't give you the full story. It'd be a pretty boring book about H.J. Heinz if all they talked about was the amount of money that he made, okay? People want to know how. How do you do it? How'd you do it? And the how matters, because depending on how you do it will dictate the legacy that you leave, the impact that you've made, the relationships that you've built. And that is what, as a Christian, in Christian community, exemplifying Christ, being with him, being like him, doing what he does, that's what we're called to do. So the way in which we perform in business is all that matters when it comes to business. The financial returns just keep the lights on, keep things growing, expand the influence, but it doesn't matter. And that is, I feel, a conflict inside of me right now, because I'm in a position where there are influences that have authority over me, that have different principles. It doesn't sit well with me. Again and again, I try to tell myself and think through how I can live in the principles that I have in this context. And that may be true. It has been true, but it's conflicting. It's gray. So anyway, all that to say, I'm really evaluating now what are the strict hardline parameters for me in business, that if I'm asked as a leader of a private equity backed company to do a specific action that is compromising to my principles, what I'm about, then I'm out. I need to be out of that scenario. So we'll see, guys. We'll see how that all lays out. Meanwhile, I am spending a lot more time and attention towards investment and some opportunities on that front. That's what I'm getting into today. I'm gonna try and record some of that for you guys, and we'll see how that plays out. Those are some morning thoughts for you.
I still feel like some of it's still kind of in the air, and
I'll be honest, the thing is, that document Stephen was talking about earlier has everything.
Like the business plan document?
Yeah, the business plan document. The thing is, like, this line of work, it's not just like selling a service or a widget. It's like, it's very bespoke. Every deal is a completely new project. It's a snowflake.
yeah, you guys already started touching on it, but like understanding your competitive advantage and what do you want them to know? What's going to help push them over the edge to take that call to action, to contact you guys? Or is it people you've already contacted and they're just doing their research and checking you out and trying to get to know you? Like, I'm just like more, fleshing it out, that's all. Which I can help, like I can do more of too. It's just, the business is brand new.
Right.
You're creating all this from scratch. But I think it all exists in your head. I'm just trying to get it out and understand what the whole thing looks like and then what is very important to have on the webpage.
The competitive advantage thing is hard for me to think about because it's not like what we're talking about doing and the way we're talking about doing it is sort of like inherently unique.
Yeah.
Like most people in this line of work either buy one business that they then run, or they're buying multiple to improve financially and then resell at a later date.
EBITDA arbitrage type deal.
Exactly. There's like a holding period, like a 5 to 15, maybe max 20-year holding period, and then sell off the whole thing. That's the strategy. It's just a financial play. What we're talking about is more like partnering with people in their entrepreneurial journey almost, in a sense, and being part of it and providing the resources to help them focus on what is most important. But also for retiring companies, because like the reality is like we might come across a deal where it's a really, really solid business and maybe it's bigger, right? Maybe it's like a 2-3 million EBITDA business and we're like, let's go get investor money and some debt and drop 25 million on this business or 20 million on this business because it's got decades deep of customer relationships,
Solid leadership
solid
team.
management team, that there's a guy on the management team that can step into the CEO role, and like that's the strategy. So to them, what we'd be selling is retirement, like what Steven said earlier, like leaving your legacy in the hands of people that you trust that are going to continue to steward what you've built thus far,
Maybe
keeping
even make it
everybody
better.
on,
Yeah.
and making it better, and keeping everybody on and in place that you had.
Yeah.
Why would someone hire you?
Why would somebody work with us?
Yeah, work with you.
It's more about cultural alignment. That's more about the ethos, because the reality is that like people are only willing to pay within a 3 to 5 times range for your business. So really what you're evaluating is like, is this a group that's really going to preserve my legacy and continue to capitalize on what I've built? I think we're going to appeal tremendously to Christian entrepreneurs. I really do.
It's almost like if you were to hire a CEO for a business that you ran, and that person had a website for you to evaluate like the viability for them to step into running a business you own.
Yeah, like
It's
a
al-
resume almost,
Yeah,
in a sense, which is not something to consider.
It's like the most important decision that most of these sellers will make in their business career, of like how and who they sell to, whether or not they realize that or not. A lot of them will, and they'll feel the weight of it. And it's kind of like putting your mind at ease. These people know how to run a process. They know how to buy my business. They've done it in the past. I can trust what they're going to do. I can trust that they're not going to try and screw me over in the last minute, because that's like a lot of like the whole retrading deal.
Yep.
They stand by what they say. Like if they say they're going to buy my business for X, they're not going to just spend 3 months trying to find everything to come off that number. And then also like, how are they going to treat me and my people before, during, and after the purchase?
Yeah, exactly. Part of the whole thing, which is not really spoken about, but it's just fair and just deal making. And I don't know how you articulate that.
It's got to be like the Avengers podcast, like Alex Ramosi just said, the best sales pitch is just to put a group of slides together of testimonials and then just have an offer at the end. And like, that's your best pitch. It's almost like if you look at other private equity firms' websites, or even like Tiny Capital's website, or anybody, they're going to talk about, yeah, we run a great process.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to take care of your people. But like, you know, the company I sold to had that, but now I'm not dealing with those people anymore.
Right.
It's just different. It's not necessarily good or bad. I feel like what I'm trying to say is like, have people who have kind of been there through working with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd also say it's honest. Like that's the other thing. We can be honest. We're not in the business of wasting people's time. So like as we approach opportunities, we're not going to just like kick the can just to kick the can. We'll let you know right away whether or not this is something that's going to be something that we want to pursue. We're also not going to lie and try and, you know, manipulate deal structures. Like everything that we propose is not to get one over. It's to align incentives.
Yeah, let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Exactly. And that is an aspect of the industry that's super shady.